Self-expression. I'm sick. When you stop trying to pretend that what is isn't, you regain your power. When you stop trying to look away from whatever is happening within the present moment, whether that is something happening outside of your physical form or something happening within you, whether that is a physical sensation that you are experiencing or the manifestation of emotion arising within you. When you stop trying to deny that what is whatever it is, it ceases to have control over you. It stops mattering so much. It's pretty incredible to witness, at least in my experience, and I am practicing this continuously. It is a continual practice. I notice resistance to a thing. For example, being sick, feeling sick in the body, feeling all of the things that come along with that, and the natural inclination of ego to reject this, to deny it, to play it off, because it's afraid. It's afraid to admit to it. And that is just giving that thing power over me. And actually that resistance to what is, that refusal to admit to what is happening, sickness, is where the true discomfort comes from. It's not even the sickness itself that is so uncomfortable. Are there unpleasant sensations associated with it? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that doesn't make them bad. That doesn't even make them a thing that I necessarily feel needs to change. When I just admitted to myself, I feel sick. I feel this sensation of scratchiness and pain in my throat. I feel a sensation of congestion, of something taking up space in my chest and my head. I feel the sensation of mucus running down the back of my throat. All of these things. I feel the sensation of tiredness in different parts of the body, a general sort of fatigue. These are things that I feel. I feel this right now. It's not terribly pleasant. No, these are not sensations that I would call pleasurable or necessarily seek out, but I'm not asking them to change. In my witnessing of them, in my letting them be what they are, not pretending that they're not there, not pretending that there's something else, not pretending that they feel good or that they don't feel a little icky. I can admit to the contrast of this experience of feeling sick and not push it away. I can actually admit, yeah, it doesn't feel so great, but that doesn't mean it has to change. That doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong. In fact, that whole sensation of something being wrong really stemmed from ego's rejection of the admission that sickness is a part of this present moment. That these sensations that I would define as sickness are a part of this moment. Once ego let go of that grasp, or rather I stepped my consciousness back into the place of deciding I don't want to feel this tension. I want to just release. I see that ego is resistant to this. It's resistant to admitting to the sickness. So let me just admit to what's here. I feel these things. And then it is a witnessing. It is an honoring of those things. It is a facing of what is in a way that is non-judgmental and non reactive. It's just acceptance. It's not saying this should not be so. It's not saying that. It's not saying it should be some other way. It's simply saying this is what is. Let me state the observational facts of my experience of existence in this moment. So too is there some anxiety. There is a sense of anxiety. There is a sense of stress underneath. Absolutely. That is there. Is that a pleasant sensation? Not necessarily, but it's not wrong. It's not wrong to be there, and it doesn't have to change. And my willingness to admit to its presence removes the specter aspect of it. It's not such a threat. Now that I am leaning into it and not fighting it, it's not so painful. It's not such a scary thing. Yeah, it's there. Okay. Doesn't mean anything. I can just let it exist and acknowledge it and appreciate that this is the manifestation of the present moment. And then I feel different. None of those things have changed. The sensations of sickness are still here. The sensations of that stress and anxiety, they are still present. There is a feeling of this unhappiness. But there is the broader realization from this removed perspective that it's okay. I don't have to feel stressed about feeling stress. I don't have to feel unhappy about feeling unhappiness. In fact, when I accept that as a part of the manifestation of this moment, and I don't reject it, I don't tell it it's wrong, I just acknowledge it for what it is, I see it as it is, then it changes. It's not so personal. It's not so much my unhappiness as just unhappiness. It's just there. It's just a thing. It's not a thing that I am necessarily. It's, well, not at all a thing that I am. It's just a thing that exists within me, within this moment. And that's okay. It doesn't change my well-being, my stability. It doesn't change, in fact, my ability to be satisfied in this moment even. It doesn't change my blessedness or worthiness. None of that. And I can see how all of the discomfort stems from ego's resistance to admit to feeling just that. Just admitting to the feeling. I can admit to it without judging it, without telling it it should or shouldn't be there, without telling it it should or should not change. I can accept that this emotion too is simply an expression of self in this instance, that it too shall pass, as all form does and must, that it is not wrong to be as it is. And in my surrender to it, I can appreciate this opportunity to become bigger, to become more inclusive, to expand myself, to become more unconditional, to extend my consciousness into a deeper place, that place of included surrender, inclusive, expanded surrender, of simply allowing what is to be and not telling any aspect of it, all of it, which is myself, that it should change or that it's wrong. Looking at all of it in the eye, witnessing it, not pretending it to be otherwise, and opening my arms to it embracing it as it is, simply being with all that is. And then I'm in my power. And it fluctuates, sure, but every single second of this moment, because it is not many moments, it is one continuous moment. It's only ever now. It is simply the now that stretches on into eternity. There's not this moment and the next. It's just more moment. It's just more of the same moment that is continuously populated by changing things. But the moment itself is one and is eternal. And that's what I am. I am the eternal present. I am the presence that allows all things to be. And I derive my satisfaction and pleasure and peace, stability and enjoyment from deliberately, consciously allowing all that is to be as it is and knowing it is right. What a journey. Just looked up and it was 11:11. I love numbers. I love all things. And I love you.